So this came out on Friday. Job report blows past expectations as payrolls boom by 916,000 in March. Please hit the like button. Hit the like button. Please subscribe. Please share with your friends. And if you want to support my channel, check out my Patreon. Job growth boomed in March at the fastest pace since last summer, as stronger economic growth and an aggressive vaccination effort contributed to a surge in hospitality and construction jobs, the Labor Department reported Friday. Non-farm payrolls increased by 916,000 for the month, while the unemployment rate fell to 6%. Economists surveyed by Dow Jones had been looking for an increase of 675,000 and an unemployment rate of 6%. The total was the highest since the 1.58 million added in August 2020. It shows that the economy is healing, that those who lost their jobs are coming back into the workforce as the recovery continues and restrictions are lifted, said Quincy Crosby, chief market strategist at Prudential Financial. The only concern here is if we have another wave of COVID that leads to another round of closures. This is very good news, and probably why one of the big factors why the market is jumping so much today. This was very encouraging news. So the estimate was 675,000 and the actual was 916,000. So that's not quite 30%, but more like 25% beat, which is very impressive, very encouraging to investors. And they expected the unemployment rate to be 6%, and it actually was 6%, so hit it right on the nail there. But yeah, very good news here. This was today. Yellen to push for global minimum tax on corporations. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen on Monday will call for a minimum tax levy on corporations around the world in an effort to keep companies from relocating to find lower rates. We are working with G20 nations to agree to a global minimum corporate tax rate that can stop the race to the bottom, Yellen told the Chicago Council on Global Affairs in prepared remarks. Together we can use a global minimum tax to make sure that the global economy thrives based on a more level playing field in the taxation of multinational corporations and spurs innovation, growth, and prosperity. The remark comes as Joe Biden looks to raise the corporate tax rate as a way to pay for a $2 trillion infrastructure improvement plan. Under the administration's proposal, the corporate tax rate would climb to 28% from 21%. That increase would come just 4 years after former President Donald Trump slashed the rate from 35%, which at that time was the highest in the world. Yeah, last week I covered Biden's infrastructure plan. He wants to invest $2 trillion into, it's not just infrastructure, but most of it is going to infrastructure, improving bridges and roads, and then he plans to spend more money on, one portion was helping disabled people and the elderly, and then he wanted to invest some money into upgrading schools and electrical grids and water, the water lines, the pipes. So, big plan there. And one of the biggest concerns about this issue for the current administration, the Biden administration, is that they want to stop companies from moving overseas because, and you can't really blame corporations for this, but if the tax rate is too high here in America, the United States, they're just going to move to a different country where they don't have to pay that much tax. And Biden is looking to stop that he wants to keep companies in the United States, but you can't control what happens in a different country. You can't tell them what tax rate to set. But apparently they're trying now. And I don't know how feasible this is, okay? Because I don't know how you're going to get 20 countries to agree to this unless you you sanction them, I guess is the only way. So I don't know how realistic this is, but the plan is to get most developed countries in the world to have a global tax, a global minimum tax of 28%. That's what Janet Yellen wants to do. And this would apparently pay for the $2 trillion infrastructure plan. Obviously, as I said last week, this is not a political show, okay? But we'll talk about how politics can affect the market. So obviously, the Republicans are not going to be happy with this, and they're going to do everything in their power to block this. The Democrats agree. So, and then the Democrats have control of Congress right now, but they don't have 60 votes, which is required to beat a filibuster. If the Republicans want, this is not going to go through. Even just the infrastructure plan. If they really wanted to, which they probably will, they're just going to call a filibuster, and at that point, you're going to need 60 votes in the Senate for this to pass. Quite honestly, this plan seems a little ideal to me. Like, it doesn't seem very realistic. But I guess it's a good start for what they want to accomplish. But I just really don't see this becoming law. Now we're talking about the corporate tax hike from 21 to 28%. The $2 trillion infrastructure plan, that's probably going to pass, but it's going to be heavily revised before it goes through. Because the Republicans are going to block it, and then they're going to negotiate, and then it's going to be like, I don't know, 1 trillion or 1.5. That's what always ends up happening. And for those of you who don't know Janet Yellen, she's the Treasury Secretary, but she used to be the Fed chair. So what Jerome Powell is doing now, Janet Yellen used to have his job. A little off topic, but she has ties to Citadel and a lot of those hedge funds. When it came time to investigate Robinhood, it seemed a little bit suspicious because it just kind of seemed like all the big players, Robinhood and the hedge funds and the clearing houses and the people investigating Janet Yellen, it seemed like they were just all in bed with each other. And again, like, we'll never know for sure because they can just deny it. But all I'm saying is, at the very least, it looked really, really bad. Janet Yellen and Biden wants to hike the corporate tax rate. Not just in America, in the whole world. Thanks for watching. Please, hit the like button. Hit the like button. Please subscribe. Please share with your friends. And if you want to support my channel, check out my Patreon. I'm Ty. This is Smarter Gambling. I see you tomorrow. I'm out. Peace.